injury that could very well end my career was sustained in the last episode during training. It was a neck injury, and at the moment, I literally fell and was unable to move. And if you know anything about neck injuries, well, not only could they end my career, but I may never be able to walk again, have movement from my neck down. I was quickly transported to the nearest hospital. Of course, my manager, my training staff, my teammates, all extremely worried. And for me, I was just trying to regain consciousness. I hadn't woken up since the injury. I spent a few days and up to a week in the hospital before I eventually finally awoke and had little movement in my hands, in my feet. It was the doctor that finally gave me the news that he said it'd be very unlikely if I ever played football at a high level ever again. And not only was this heartbreaking, because football was something that was one of the only things that I'd ever been good at for my entire life, but he told it to me straight. If I wanted to ever play football again, it's going to take a lot of comeback, a lot of adversity I'd have to battle through. See if I'll be able to do it. But one thing he said for sure, this season is a no-go. I'm out for the year, 100%. Won't be returning to Real Madrid. I was finally released from hospital a few months later, and I was able to walk again. I was up moving, but I was a lot more slow than I was before, and getting from place to place was very difficult. Of course, when you have a neck injury of that magnitude, you take everything in perspective. I'm lucky to be where I'm at. With that injury, like I told you, I could very well not be walking, not be moving, but one thing was tough for me to do was turn on that television and watch Real Madrid play, knowing that I wouldn't be able to go out there and play with my team. I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch the team, and I wasn't interacting with the team much either. Players, managers, staff. I was hanging with myself mostly. It was a very lonely life, and one it was very disappointing for me because, like I mentioned, football was one of the only things that I'd known throughout my life. And to pass the time, there were occasions where I tried to go visit some of my teammates. As you know, Julian Weber, one of our superstar players, one of my best friends at the club, lives just down the street from me. I tried to go visit, hang out with him, but almost every time I'd go, he wouldn't be there, or he would tell me he's too busy. It seems like since this injury, everyone became too good for me. No one wanted to interact with me, and no one really wanted to be around me. They thought I was nothing anymore. My career was over, and for me, all I dreamt about was getting back out on that pitch and playing football again. And since I was unable to do that this season, I turned to a more dark side. A dark side that I'm not proud of going down, but for me, it kept me at peace. Drinking and, going out, not being around anyone, just sort of me. And this is a lifestyle that no one wants to live. I wasn't proud of it, but for me, it helped pass the time. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't good. But this is where I was at with this injury, this point in my career.
Gotta make this one your last one. Sorry.
So the season ended. It was time to get in to the next season, where I was looking forward to potentially returning to the team. I was starting to get back in shape. I was recovering from this injury, although I still had to take things very, very slow and lightly just so I wouldn't harm myself again. Starting to lift weights, get back into the shape of things. But one thing I missed that I'm very disappointed in was the World Cup. This was the summer of dreams where I was supposed to win it all for Germany, and I didn't receive the call-up because of the injury. I still wasn't fit enough to play, and Germany won the World Cup. I missed that competition, but I had to push it aside, and I started to talk again with my teammates. Talk about this upcoming season. Many of them were excited to have me back, joining them this year, and a chance for us to do something special. The season last year that I missed, they won the league, and they won the Champions League as well. So for me, I want to do that all over again. I want to be part of it, but getting back into things I learned, it was going to take some time for me to become the player that I once was. In training, well, let's just say I wasn't performing as well as I was used to. Missing a lot of shots, my dribbling wasn't the same, my stamina wasn't the same, my shooting, everything, my speed, everything had decreased, and it was going to take a while to get back to the player that I once was. But this was my time to come back, to prove everyone wrong that thought I wouldn't be able to play another game of football in my life. I was excited to prove them wrong, get back out on the pitch, and become one of the best players in the world once again. So even though I wasn't performing too well in training, the manager still had faith in me. He wanted to see what I could do in our first La Liga game of the season, taking on Valencia. We're back in the starting 11. Let's go.
On my own, but I don't know why you hit the road, but you don't realize I'm on the
Here it is, the long-awaited turn. Many media outlets here covering this game to see how I do. I was once a candidate for the Ballon d'Or, and now, well, people are watching to see if I can still be that same player I once was. Of course, I know I can, but it's all about what I do on the pitch in this game. If I don't perform, I could easily see Real Madrid letting me go, not playing me for the rest of the year, selling me who knows what. But like I said, it's a make or break game. So here we go. Let's get this thing started. We are underway. And look who's playing for Valencia. Lacazette and Josef Martinez as well. And you're going to see, as we get into this game, well, just not the same player that I once was. The first shot taken here in the 22nd minute. And with my weak foot, but nowhere near the target. No power on it whatsoever. Here in the 26th minute, I'm trying it again from outside the box. Too much power once again over the crossbar in the third chance of the game. At this point, I'm not sure whether I'm playing, European football or American football here. I'm going for field goals. That's not good. Halftime would come. My manager was upset. The staff was upset. And that's when I was immediately substituted out, and I came to the realization that this could be my final game, not only for Real Madrid, but the final time I'd take place in a football match in my career.
Are you all my personal dreams?
And those realizations were correct. After the game, I was told by my manager that I'm not up to the caliber that he wants to see of players here at Real Madrid. I was to be immediately sold or let go if no one wanted to buy me. And there's a good reason for that. Because of my injury, we'll just check out how much my rating, my stats have been affected. We've gone from almost being 90 rated down to 74 overall, valued at only $6 million. And at this point, I'm not sure who's going to want to buy me. My agent, you guys know him, he's been involved in the series a lot, and he's decided to part ways with me. He doesn't think I'm capable of playing football anymore, and he's moved on to represent bigger players. Alex Roberto is no more in this series, and it was time for me to decide what I would do moving forward in my career. Go away from the game completely, try to sign for a very small team, anyone that would take me at this point, and I decided it was time. Time to do something that I never thought I'd do this young in my career. At only 24 years of age, it's time to retire. To step away from the game. I'm not capable of being a superstar player anymore. And it's time to go and step away. Long time no see. We're back, and well, a lot's happened since that last scene. 8 years into the future, I'm away from the game again. I haven't touched a football in a while. Just playing with family, friends, but that's about it. I've been on my own, doing my own thing, not even thinking about football, until one random night when a call was made from a team that you're very familiar with. The team where I started my career, Dortmund. They wanted to give me a final chance. halfway through their season. They're competing for some titles, and they wanted to see what I had to offer. So, do we come back to this game and play one final half season with Dortmund? Or do we stay retired and call it quits for Julian Weber and begin our new My Player? You guys need to vote in the top right-hand corner. Regardless, it was a great career for Julian Weber. And if this is it, well, it's unfortunate how it ended. But winning titles for Germany and at the club level, he'll go down as a legend. Vote in the top right-hand corner. And if you guys choose to start a new player, thanks for watching this series. It was fun to do, but it might not be the last episode. You guys got to vote. We'll see you then.